Now we come to passing of property. How does the title transfer from seller to buyer? How this property means ownership. So we are talking about passing of ownership, transfer of ownership. Okay, so let's see how does the property get transferred from seller to buyer. But before going there, let us first do a flashback thing and get back to the definition of property. The definition of property, we learned that property means the general property and not merely a special property. A special property means a smaller right over the goods, like the right of lien on goods, as you have in case of a pledge. What do you do in pledge? You take a loan from some person and then give him some goods as security. Now, does that person who has given you loan become the owner of those goods? No, those goods have been only kept as security, and once you repay the loan, he'll return the goods back. So he does not become the owner, you remain the owner. Yet, for that some period of time, he has the right over the goods, but that is not a complete right, a total right, a right of ownership over the goods. He has a special right, right of possession of the goods, right of lien over the goods. However, when we talk about property, we are referring to general property. General property means the complete undisputed right of ownership over the goods. Okay, so here we are talking about the transfer of ownership, the transfer of general property over of the goods. Now, when does the property in the goods get transferred? Now you come to me to purchase this pen and I am selling this pen to you. So when does the property get transferred? It gets transferred when the seller and the buyer intend it to be. When the parties intend it to pass. Now parties are two. First is the seller and the second is buyer. So when both these parties agree, when both these parties have an intention of passing off the ownership, let's say you come to me to purchase this pen, I tell you that I want to sell this pen to you for rupees 100, you tell me I want to purchase this pen from you for rupees 100. In that case, possibly the property will get transferred there and then. But let's say we both tell each other that we intend that the ownership should get transferred after a week. If nothing is mentioned, probably it will get transferred there and then. But if we both intend that the property in the goods should transfer after a week, then when would it get transferred? It would get transferred after a week, because both the parties want that the ownership should get transferred after a week. Not now, not after 10 days, but after a week. If they want it to get transferred there and then, it will get transferred there and then on the spot. If they want it to get transferred after a month or after 10 days, it will get transferred after a month or after 10 days. Whatever their will is, whatever their intention is. Now, many a times they do not express this intention. So, what we do is we look at the terms and conditions of the contract. Possibly we get a hint from it, or we look at the circumstances, we get a hint. from it. So I'll give you an example. You come to me to purchase this pen and you tell me, I'll purchase this pen from you after 7 days. And I tell you, I'll sell this pen to you after 7 days. That means we intend that the property should be transferred after 7 days. However, you come to me saying, I want to purchase this pen to you, but I'll pay you after 7 days. And I tell you, I want to sell this pen to you, but I'll sell it, I'll transfer it after 7 days. I'll give you this pen after 7 days. Now in this case, they both are willing to enter into a contract of sale there and then, but the buyer wants to pay after 7 days, the seller wants to give delivery after 7 days. So from the circumstances of this case, I can conclude that possibly the parties intend that the ownership should get transferred after 7 days. They do not intend to get it transferred there and then. Okay, so many times these terms and conditions and circumstances also help us in knowing as to what is the time of transfer.